All right. Good morning, my friends. This is an all new episode of Wake Up with Georgio Says, where I give you all the hot topics so that you know what's going on before you start your day. Now, depending on where you wake up in this country, you guys should be either getting ready for your day, heading to work, or you're just about ready to have some lunch. So, nonetheless, here we go. We have a lot to cover. We have the Potomac reunion, part three. My goodness, Stacey. My goodness. That's all I'm going to say for now. We also need to cover all the highlights from Oscar Sunday. There was too many, but I do have the highlights for you guys to cover off on. And we have some Colin Jost news. Yes, he finally spoke out about the Blake Lively. Well, it was more of a joke, okay, for his news update, but it was such a fitting way to slide that joke in, and I loved it. So we're going to take a listen to what he said. And unfortunately, we did find out that we lost a very, very talented singer over the weekend. Yes, Angie Stone unfortunately passed away in a tragic car accident involving an 18-wheeler, and I'm still not okay about it. So, all that and a little bit more in today's episode of Wake Up with Georgio Says.
Wake up with Georgio Says. In the morning, wake up with Georgio Says. Wake up with Georgio Says.
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. We have a morning show for you guys. I have been debating on how to do this. I feel like this is the best way. So Monday through Friday, I'm going to be doing a 30-minute morning show around this time where you guys are going to get a roundup of all the hot topics. But don't worry, I'm still going to be doing my full-on episodes for the podcast, Georgio Says. But I wanted to do something different, more just to kind of round up everything that's going on in Bravo, in Hollywood, all the above. Okay. And I'm trying to decide where I want to start. So I think it's best that we start with Potomac. Did you guys watch? Because boy, oh boy, I'm not shocked by the news that came out via Eddie and Wendy, but I was shocked that TJ would actually say that on camera. He seemed very salty. We all know at this point he's a very sassy man, but he's an actor. He's an actor. So we have to take things with a grain of salt. But I think what he is saying here, or what came out last night, says a lot about Stacey, but that's not all that happened in the reunion. I do cover off on the reunion as a whole on an episode that will come out later today, where I break down the entire thing. But one of the things that did stand out to me, rather, was the fact that TJ said that Stacey paid him to come be on the show with her. Now, if you've been listening to my recaps for this season, you know that I have speculated on whether or not this whole TJ thing was just something that Stacey and TJ agreed upon so they both could get on this show, mainly for her to get on the show, but also it would benefit him because, like I said, he is an actor and he does like to work. And because Stacey and him allegedly were fired from QVC, what better way to enter the TV screens than through Real Housewives? So I do believe that Stacey probably had some sort of financial agreement with TJ to come on the show, pretend to be a love interest, something that wasn't going to completely piss off her now ex-husband, but also give her some storyline for the show. I've also pointed out that I don't find Stacey to be 100% authentic. I think she knows how to play the cameras. I think she knows how to navigate things, as we saw her do with the whole TJ thing. When it came out, she didn't believe it. She needed to see it for her own eyes, hear it with her own ears, which is odd because if they say it's on camera, they pretty much have it on camera. So there's not really much of a bluff there. But for whatever reason, she found it very hard to believe that TJ would say these things, right? Maybe she's more pissed that he went and threw her under the bus. My question is, what was the financial agreement and why didn't she pay him? Furthermore, her story's not adding up to me, mainly because I feel like with Stacey, she does this, she seems to be very well media trained. Okay. She takes a pause, she repeats the question, she does all the things, right? To give herself more time to come up with a ridiculous answer because none of her answers added up. And the whole cast and us, we don't believe you, Stacey. Wendy was right. You had your moment to rectify this. You could have easily gotten TJ on FaceTime. The fact that you wouldn't get on FaceTime with him in the moment means to me that maybe TJ is telling the truth and you probably screwed him over. I'm just saying, why would this man even say something like that if it wasn't true? He seemed to play along for the majority of the season. And until you didn't need him anymore, it seems like you kind of discarded him because you couldn't even let the man come on to the reunion to finish out whatever that fake storyline you guys had where you said you guys are no longer together. You were never together. You were never together. The jig is up. And let's not make it like it's Eddie and Wendy's fault because they're the messenger. No. But can we talk about Wendy really quick? I'm not going to talk about the whole episode because, like I said, I'm doing a whole episode on this on my podcast. But I will say Wendy for the win because Mia left. Yes, we're going to get into that later. But Mia did leave the reunion. She did not finish. And Wendy ended up getting first seat. So that worked out very nicely for her. But Stacey, what are you doing, girl? What's really going on? And listen, here's the thing. If you're not going to come out and tell the truth, and I do believe you'll come back next season because we know they're going to start filming season 10 without Karen and hopefully without Mia because I'm about sick of her, especially after she left. You did all this lying, Mia. There's just so many liars from the season. We also had a little produced scene with Karen and Ray talking about all the points to try to hopefully get this out there that people will have some compassion for her. She even tried to look like she was taking some accountability. It didn't seem that way to me. And I agree with Giselle. They should have just left that clip out. It did nothing for her. If anything, it actually irritated me more. But yeah, I'm not sure what you guys think of the Stacey and TJ thing. I do want to know. So please let me know wherever you're listening or watching this. Please let me know what your thoughts are. Did she pay him? Well, she didn't pay him apparently because he says that she still owes him money. So how much did they agree would be the fee for TJ to come on? And why didn't she pay him the rest? Was it because she didn't like the way he was treating her on camera? Or was he being too sassy for you? I need to know. Now I've met Stacey. She's very nice, but I will say she loves the attention that she's getting. Yes, she does. And I don't find her to be authentic. Just going to say that. But yes, let me know your thoughts on the Stacey and TJ debacle if you did watch. And make sure you catch my Potomac reunion part 3 recap later today on the Georgio Says podcast. All right, my friends, it's not a weekend. If it's not an award show, at least as of late, it is award show season. And Sunday was no different. We had Oscars 2025. There was so much happening, so many looks. I'm not here to discuss the looks because I think there's a lot of people already doing that, but I do want to give you the highlights, okay? Some of these highlights are just fitting for the Oscars. I mean, there were so many people up for awards. There were so many great talents there and a lot of great performances, like the Wicked stars, Cynthia and Ariana Grande, do their powerful performance of Defying Gravity. Listen, if you guys have not seen Wicked, it is now streaming. You must go see it. I think everyone at this point has seen the movie, but this song that they both perform live was just, I mean, I got goosebumps. There's just something about this song. Now, no, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite song. Don't come for me. But when it is on, I will listen to it. And these two super talented vocalists singing this together was quite literally such a powerhouse moment on the stage of the Oscars. I couldn't stop watching. We also had Adrian Brody taking the Best Actor award for The Brutalist after losing at the SAG Awards. So, because it is award season, there's multiple opportunities to be recognized. Obviously, all of these awards mean something pivotal in each person's career, and it kind of validates their hard work. Not to say if you didn't win that your work wasn't validated, because all the nominees, quite frankly, were amazing this time around. Yes, I'm saying that. But Adrian Brody did win finally, and it was good to see that, because it's you never know how these things are going to go. We obviously saw Demi Moore was winning a lot of awards, but she did not take an Oscar home last night. But she did have two bowls of fries, which the more and more I read about Demi Moore, listen to her, just follow her journey, because I've always loved Demi Moore. I have to say, we are like very much aligned on a lot of things. Okay. She likes to look great. She's very personable. She's very humble. And she loves French fries. First of all, who doesn't love French fries? I think French fries is my girl dinner. If I just had a big bowl of hot French fries, I would be fine, honestly. All right. What else was happening at the Oscars? We had Kieran Culkin leveraging his Oscar quite literally to let his wife know that she owes him some more kids now. Kieran Culkin is obviously the younger brother of Macaulay Culkin, who was also featured on Home Alone. But I just think it's nice. I like seeing Macaulay Culkin out and about. He seems much happier and he's back in it. Family, you know, everyone's winning. Everyone's doing the damn thing, and I love it. We also had Doja Cat performing the famous James Bond song Diamonds Are Forever. Now listen, if anyone's going to remake this song or sing it live, it's definitely going to be a Doja Cat for me, because I honestly think she can sing so many different types of music. She's so super talented. She's such a great performer. I loved this rendition from her so much. Also, we had Lisa from Blackpink, which, if you know, you know, I am a K-pop stan over here. Lisa is on the current season of White Lotus, and she also sang Live and Let Die. So great performances for sure. We also had Zoe Saldana, who competes for Best Supporting Actress. She sweeps the Oscar and she thanks her ancestors. And it's been a while since we've seen Zoe Saldana, and I obviously remember her from seeing her the first time on the movie she did with Britney Spears way back, long time ago. Not that she was up for an Oscar for that movie. I don't think anyone was, but it was a good movie. If you know, you know. Okay. So very happy for Zoe, much deserved. And one thing I will say about the Oscars that I didn't really understand was, obviously we did do some memorials for like Gene Hackman, who we just found out recently passed away. But I was stunned to see that there was no mention of Michelle Trachtenberg's passing, which, now I know she hasn't been in anything in a while, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Gene Hackman's really been in anything in a while. So why not mention her Oscars? What was that about? That was really that kind of threw me off. I really would have thought they would have definitely done something, or at least mentioned it, but they didn't. So whatever that's about. Honora, if you guys have not watched Honora, you definitely should. It's amazing. And the Oscars validate that, because they won 5 awards. So people are definitely loving it. And listen, everyone is amazing in this show. Such a great cast of characters, great writing, all of the above. Yes, yes, yes. So that was Oscars 2025 in a nutshell. We now need to jump over, because over the weekend, obviously SNL aired and we had Weekend Update. And as they do, they like to poke fun at what's going on currently in the news. And I think a lot of people were stunned when they saw Colin Jost take a little jab at Blake Lively once he was finishing his story about Donald Trump's meeting with Zelensky. He parlayed that into, well, Why don't we just take a listen together?
Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Bud Justin Baldoni saying, I'd love to work with Blake again.
As you heard, Colin finally made a joke. Listen, it's been a long time coming, okay? We've all been inundated since this first New York Times article came out with Blake Lively CRD. Every day, hour on the hour, even some days, we're getting updates. Some are minor updates, some are just speculation, and some are just hardcore new facts, new updates. So it's getting a little tiring. I will be honest. I'm not covering this story as heavily as some of my peers out there are, but I am still paying attention. I'm still listening. And I did think it was kind of cool that he had this moment because I'm sure, I mean, gosh, I think about what it must be like to have conversations between Colin and Scarlett and what they must say about what's going on between Justin and Blake, because I'm sure they have a lot to say, right? We obviously know, and like I said, the SNL 50 live special, I really felt was Colin's night, and somehow Ryan and Blake make it about themselves. Now, whatever joke Ryan made, okay, some people didn't think it was a big deal. Some people were like, this is not the way you handle things like this when your wife is claiming to have been sexually harassed, but go ahead. The thing about it is that at some point we've got to call a spade, okay? I'm not going to give you guys all the updates because again, I will be doing a separate video on some of those updates regarding Blake and Justin. More importantly, why did she hire a CIA alum crisis PR person, you ask? Who knows? But we also know that New York Times is now trying to get the lawsuit that Justin put against them dismissed. And with that, they've shared a bunch of exhibits, but one was the email that they sent Justin right before the article was being published. You know, the one initially where he only had about 5 minutes to respond. They sent it late at night, and then they ended up posting the article a couple hours early. Nonetheless, I will be digging into that on another video, but I will say this was perfection. I'm so sorry. I know we still have a trial in March 2026 as of right now, so who knows what else may come out. I'm not saying I believe Justin. I'm just saying he's got a stronger case than what Blake and her team are doing because they seem to keep playing with PR and the media machine rather than coming to us with real facts, something we can all openly discuss. And listen, if she brought something forward that was like, whoa, what is this? We would all dig into it. We're nosy. We're nosy over here, but she's not. So if it was fine for Ryan to come on SNL and make a little joke, I don't see why it wouldn't be okay for someone who actually works on this show to make a joke in his own way about what is going on in pop culture land. So you guys can let me know what your thoughts are. Did Colin take it too far? Was it unnecessary? I'm sure you guys will say what you're feeling. That's never been an issue over here. All right. So tragically, though, we do need to discuss what has happened over the weekend. Guys, I'm still in shock. There's so many celebrities just dropping like flies, and it's just so sad. But this really was sad to me because if you know Angie Stone, then you know some of her big hits. And just she had a lot of soul. And I listened to Angie Stone's music quite a bit. And she had some hits, great albums, great stage presence. But unfortunately, the R&B singer and actress did die at the age of 63 over the weekend. It was said that she had a terrible car crash with an 18-wheeler. There hasn't been all too much around the accident itself. It's just very sad. It was just very sad. I think what's more sad for people is I've also read that, you know, she wasn't being properly paid. Shocker. But this was causing her to have to continue going on the road, performing, trying to make ends meet, right? So if all those things are true, I'm not saying that that's what caused any of this tragic ending to her life. No, what I'm saying is it seems like when you dig into it, she was literally working up until this happened. And so I think a lot of people are saying, like, maybe perhaps she had been paid what she was supposed to. Maybe this wouldn't have happened. Listen, we could do the coulda, woulda, shouldas. Unfortunately, this has happened. I just hope that people in the media and everyone alike who is a fan of Angie Stone will at least give her flowers. And I will give a shout out to People Magazine. They did a very nice write up for Angie, giving a full background of all of her accomplishments and everything beautiful she's ever done. So rest in peace, Angie Stone. You will be missed. Yeah, sad news. Listen, this is my first Wake Up with Georgio Says episode. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much. I am going to be doing this, like I said, every day, Monday through Friday. I may even do a weekend update for you guys, but right now I'm going to stick to the Monday through Friday. You can catch my full-length episode later today where I will be covering off on Real Housewives of Potomac. We have so much to dig into that. I know I went over the Stacey and TJ of it all, but there's still layers to everything. I'm going to give you my thoughts on who I think should come back, who shouldn't, okay? But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick episode of a roundup of all these topics to get you sorted for your day. But if there's anything you guys want me to add, talk about, don't hesitate to let me know down below. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit like on the video, and share it with someone who's just as nosy as you are. Because we like nosy friends. Who are we going to text people about these things, right? So, yes. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, the audio version, please give me a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to this. And until the next episode, guys, I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.
Wake up with Georgio Says. In the morning, wake up with Georgio Says. Wake up with Georgio Says.